Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm gonna tell you why this Sony A6400 may be the very camera that you need in 2021, almost 2022 right now. So the first thing is that this camera actually can do 24 megapixels. It's an APS-C sensor, and it's very good, it's very bright. The ISO is very high. You can crank it up to like 12,800 and it will still capture good videos and photos for you. And 24 megapixels is actually the perfect spot. It's actually the perfect balance between the resolution and the file size. Now I shoot RAW plus JPEG. I know, like I still use JPEG sometimes, but I mostly shoot RAW now. The RAW files is currently at like 24 megapixels. Now I know that is compressed RAW by the Sony thing, but yeah, the file size is 24 megapixels for the RAW, and for the JPEG, for the extra fine, would be like 12 megabytes for each JPEG file. So yep, this camera actually is pretty good at capturing low lights, moderate low lights. It's also depending on your lens, but if you crank it up to like ISO 12,800, it is still pretty acceptable, and you can still edit it and clean off all of the noise in the sensor. Right, so the second part is that this camera uses the Sony E-mount. The E-mount has many lenses, very good ones indeed, and it will satisfy you in the long run. Like, you can put the full frame lenses, and you can also fit in the APS-C lenses to the full frame by turning on APS-C mode if that's your jam. And yeah, it's pretty flexible and very good system. So for example, this is the Tamron 18-200 lens, and it's actually doing me wonders. It's actually pretty good. It zooms out to like 18-200 mil, so it's pretty good. I also can put some manual lenses. Hold on. Alright, so this is the 7 Artisans. This is yeah, it's a 35 mil. It's a manual lens. Let me just show you this. It has an APS-C sensor size, and it's a manual lens. It's very fun to use. Whoops. You can see the aperture. It's very hard. Like, you can actually see the aperture. Loop. And this is actually a very fun lens to use for me, and you can see that aperture opening and closing. So their lenses like this, I know they don't just make this for the E-mount, they also make this for like Fuji X or something. But just like, if you want to do some fun lenses, then this is one of them. They have it here. Alright, so for the third part, it actually has this flip up screen, so you can see yourself while you're filming. It's actually pretty fun and pretty useful to use. If you're doing vlogging, you can see yourself, and it is pretty adequate for a camera like this. Alright, so remember when I mentioned about the 24 megapixel sensor? Well, you also have 11 FPS burst mode. Check this out. It's actually pretty loud if not used with a lens, but you get your 11 frames per second in an APS-C body, meaning that you can shoot a lot of quick moving subjects, such as like wildlife and quick moving objects, sports, birds and things and stuff. If you're into that, it actually benefits you. And yeah, it's pretty useful. 11 fps in this tiny setup, man. Like, it's actually pretty useful. All right, so what else? Oh, I want to talk about here this. So we have a USB micro B slot. We also have micro HDMI port, and we have a mic port. This, in a lot of like budget cameras, they don't actually have this recording for these mics that you put in here, and this is actually very useful. Now, note that we don't actually have a monitor port, but we do have a microphone input port, and that is actually very useful if your goal is to make vlogs or videos and you want to use your external mic. Now, to be clear, that the internal mic here is still somewhat okay, but if you want a better mic, you also have that over there. Alright, so another part that I wanted to say is this actually has a built-in flash. It is somewhat useful. You can like bounce it here, so it bounces off the ceiling, and it's pretty useful flash if you need it. I don't use it, but if you need it, it is there. Alright, so this camera actually shoots 4K 24p without any crop, and it's actually pretty useful. Now, note that you need the SD card V30 with the U3 or V30 designation, so that you can record 4K 24. And 4K 24 is actually really useful. It's actually very versatile, and because we're using only 24p, it's actually pretty good. The motion blur, the resolution is really just there, and it's very useful. Many budget cameras don't even have 4K 24, or they have it, but it has a huge crop, such as the Canon M50. That's why I buy this, because it has no crop at 4K 24, and also there is no like 29 minutes recording limit. You can record as long as you want. It has a lot of customizable buttons, and it's just generally very useful for this price range. And you couldn't actually get any better if you want a camera under $1,000, and it's pretty tough to challenge this one. Even though it's only an APS-C sensor, there's a lot of good lenses for the Sony E mount, and it's actually pretty good lenses. You can also put the GM if you want in there, but you'll be wasting your money, but the option's there. Alright guys, that's pretty much about it for this camera. It has a 24 megapixel sensor with 11 fps for continuous burst, which is really useful for shooting fast paced subjects. It has a flip screen. Yeah, there we go. It's actually kind of hard, it's kind of stiff, it's still relatively new, but you have your screen there, you can see yourself filming, and yeah, it's pretty good. It also has a built-in flash. What's that? You have your flash. Even though I never use it, I've only used it once in a review, but that's about it. But it is there if you want to use it. And one thing that I almost forgot to mention is that it has this multifunction shoe. It's called the Sony's multifunctional digital hot shoe. I don't know if you can actually see in there, but there's like digital interface in there, so you can put your mic, but it's currently only by Sony. You can put your mic in here, and you wouldn't need to use the 3.5mm jack. It's pretty useful. If you have the microphone, the option is there. It's a, I think it's called multi-interface digital hot shoe, and there are many more things that you can attach to this hot shoe in the future. Alright guys, so that's pretty much summarizes everything up. You have everything that you want. You have 24 megapixels, 11 frames per second. You also have your 4K 24 for videos. You have your mic input. You also have your USB charging, your everything that is very useful. You also have your battery door like there, and the flip screen to see yourself in the darkness. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave a like if you do like this video, and in the future I'll be reviewing this tiny lens and also this Tamron lens currently attached in this Sony body, and I will keep you guys posted about things photography in the future. So if you would like to know more, please leave a subscribe, leave a like, and post some comments. I guess that's the gem, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.